Hey, Geraint Thomas, thank you so much for joining us. Last time we saw you, you were doing a huge challenge for the NHS. Now you're doing a big challenge on your own. How are you feeling after today?
Yeah, good. I think this race has been a lot better. I was racing in France a few weeks ago and didn't feel 100%. Was still okay, but hence the reason for not doing the tour and targeting the Giro instead, the Tour of Italy. So, yeah, this is an 8-day race and 6 days into it and sitting third overall at the moment with a time trial on the last day. And so, yeah, it's a lot better. A lot better for the confidence and morale as well.
I was going to say a solid performance on the Queen's stage. Coming second behind Simon Yates. You just mentioned there about feeling better. Is this what you needed?
Yeah, I think it just gave me an extra 6 weeks to fine tune the form really and get an extra race under my belt. I kind of felt like obviously with all lockdown and things and the racing calendar being completely different to what we're used to, and yeah, I just felt like I needed a bit more racing to get into top shape, and I think this race will do just that for me.
Well, like I said, last time we spoke to you, you were doing that ridiculous challenge for the NHS. It's been a crazy 6 months, really up and down for everyone, whether you're an athlete, a man or woman on the street. Talk to me how it's been for you, because obviously it's been out there. It's not been the easiest, is it? But how's that journey been for you mentally, really?
Yeah, it's been purely from a professional side, like a racing side. It was tough because you kind of just it felt like I was just ended up going through the motions all the way through March through to June really, because we never really had a solid sort of structure. We didn't know what races we were going to get to race, if we were going to race this year. But then once we had a calendar, it gave us a bit more focus and something to work towards. But purely from just a lifestyle, it was nice to spend some quality time with Max, my son. He was born in October, so I would never get, I think it was close to sort of 60 odd days or more straight with him, and yeah, I'd never normally get that at all. So that was really nice. But yeah, from a racing point of view, it was quite hard to get back into it. And that's why I needed this extra bit of time. But now it's finally starting to come together. So all good.
We also spoke about motivation as well. When you have a bit of time off, I think as sportsmen and women always have, when we have that bit of time to think maybe too much. Do you think this summer was kind of, after everything you went through in 2018, 19, was it time to maybe think about some stuff? And did anything kind of go through your mind in terms of your future?
I think it's just, the motivation was there, but it's kind of a strange one because you can sort of go out and you do your training, but it's just that extra little bit, which that extra drive, which, to perform at the highest level, like in the Tour de France and the Grand Tours, I have to be really sort of switched on and nailing sort of every day. And yeah, through lockdown, it was just sort of, it felt more like I was just ticking the boxes rather than fully, dialed into it. But like I say, it's all good now.
Last question on the whole Tour de France thing, I promise. You've been with, obviously, Dave Brailsford for a long time. Did that make it easier or harder to have that conversation with him? Because, the best relationships in the world will take, Eric Cantona, Alex Ferguson, they all come to a point where there's those difficult crossroads.
Yeah, I think it definitely helped. I think because I've obviously worked with Dave since I was like 17. So I'm 34 now, getting on. And it's a long time, and I think I'm able to just speak openly with him. And yeah, it definitely makes that conversation easier. We can both just be open and honest and just say exactly what we're thinking. Whereas, if I was with, a different manager that I'd known maybe 2 years, I'd definitely be a bit more sort of guarded, I think, with some things. So that definitely helps with the situation a lot. And also, like, my coach, Tim Carrison, I've been, working closely with him for since 2013. So, the core and the team and the main guys in the team, and Fran Miller as well, the CEO of Ineos, I've known them all, since I was 18 or so. So it's like, it definitely makes those conversations and those decisions a lot easier.
You want to be the main man. You know, despite the Tour de France disappointment, the Giro really looks to suit you with 3 TTs. How do you plan to attack that?
Yeah, I think obviously the TTs are my strength over a lot of the other GC guys, so try and make the most of them. And then, yeah, obviously there's still a lot of climbing. So, you know, if I can gain a good bit of time in the TTs and then try to defend in the mountains, really. You know, the last week of the Giro is the end of October, so we go pretty high altitude-wise. So it depends on the weather as well, really. That could play a crucial part in the race. But, yeah, the main thing is getting there 100%, you know, as good as I can be, and then just race it and see what happens.
How far do you think you are off your best?
I think I'm pretty close, actually. You know, training's been going well. The weight's pretty good. So, yeah, and this race has given me the confidence, you know, that I'm in the mix with all the other guys. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to racing a lap of Italy.
And last question from me. Sport's a funny thing, isn't it? It has all these ups and downs. Do you think maybe this down part in this last 6 months will maybe give you the biggest peak upwards towards what you're calling maybe the last few years?
Yeah, I don't know, really. It's kind of, yeah, I don't know. I think it's certainly, I think it was the best decision not doing the Tour and going to the Giro. It definitely gave me a new sort of like lease to life almost, a new focus. And I think doing the Giro, I obviously targeted it in 2017 and that didn't go quite to plan when I crashed out. But yeah, it's been a nice change really, because I've done the Tour, I don't know how many times now. I think I've done it around time. So, you know, it's always been programmed. It kind of gets monotonous at times. So even though the Tour, it's the Tour, but, you know, the whole build up to it and everything you do before is always the same. So it's been nice to have a change. And so, yeah, hopefully you can make the most of it.
Okay, last question. Tokyo, maybe?
Yeah, so hopefully I'll be at Tokyo next year. I was planning to go this year. But so yeah, try and get in the team first though, because obviously British cycling is definitely strong these days. So yeah, but I'd love to go and ride the TT in the road race. So.